Hey, so I just thought I'd do a mini impressions slash review on my Atlantis precision slash square tubing leverage row. So this is a row that has nice linkage. I really love these kind of machines that have a resistance profile that has linkage, introduces mechanical advantage. Also, you know, like the beginning, it drops off, and it's at a rate that's not linear. Kind of like, when you're, I guess linear is the wrong word, but when you don't have linkage, let's say this part right here is welded straight here. You calculate the resistance profile basically just based on the degree, that the lever arm makes. That's how you calculate the moment arm, which is a torque equation. The torque equals RF sine theta, R being the radius, so the length of the lever arm, times the F, which is the force, and sine of theta, so sine of the angle. When you have linkage, it's a little bit different. You have varying mechanical advantage versus at the beginning, middle, and end. So say it's, like 2 to 1 at the beginning versus 1.5 to 1 at the middle, and then say 1 to 1 at the end, so it can change over time. So that's why I like the linkage. Another thing that this unit has is it has fixed handles. So, some people like swivel, some people like fixed. I'm fine with either. It just, if I were to say I choose one over the other, I would rather have good fixed handles, like multiple good fixed handles over a swivel handle. Just swivel's more versatile for a larger population of people. Say you have a gym, and you want to have a population of people hit lats very easily. Swivel handles, they can change it around, move it around to a comfortable angle. Whereas with fixed, you have to dial it in with seat height. Sometimes it just doesn't fit a certain body type well. It can be all sorts of trouble, but when it does work well, it's really great. You can pull through the machine without much loss of force. All your force is basically translated into the movement minus the friction from the bearings and whatever. Versus with swivel, you're lost, with the varying movements of the swivel, like this, up and down, whatever. Like you get lost in like this, you get lost in like this. That's what I mean. So yeah, just hit a couple sets, talk about it a little bit. Really good lat focus. You can see it gets really close to my side, especially since I do unilateral. I can bias the side more, versus doing isolateral like this. It kind of forces me right in the middle. But either way, the line of pull is really nice for lats. I want to do ISO. It's still really nice and tight. And then what I appreciate about this one versus the L handle or the D handle version of this Atlantis row, the L handle being like a swivel, same thing with the D handle, except it's enclosed. Basically, is that I can do a fixed horizontal grip. So what does that do? It's like when I do the neutral grip or a semi-pronated grip, I can keep my elbows closer to my side, so I'm more targeting my lats. With the fixed horizontal grip, I can get more shoulder abduction away from my side, and then I can start working on my upper back more. Obviously, like close in will still have pretty tight to my side, but like the further out I go, I can get more upper back. The only thing is that it's a little bit harder to do like unilateral, like really far, like elbow abduction. It's because you start getting pulled towards, you know, the one side that you're trying to bias. Like say I'm out here, see I'm getting pulled this way, so it's hard for me to keep my elbow like that unless I really brace. Yeah, I really appreciate the fixed horizontal handle so that I can, you know, just mindlessly pull with a like fixed elbow abduction angle versus, you know, like the prime loaded row where you can swivel it out and you can, you know, turn it out and do it yourself, but then it's like the replicability over time as you get more and more fatigued, it goes down. So then you start like, you know, going towards where you're stronger and stronger, which is like, you know, with your arms closer to your sides, so more lat focus. Whereas this, it's like you can't really pull it down more. You're kind of stuck in whatever angle the horizontal is at. You can see my elbow is tracking further away from my side than say if I were to grab the neutral handle. So here's the side view. Obviously the seat height adjustment and the chest pad adjustment can change how you feel and what muscle you're targeting. Further out the chest pad, obviously you can get not only just greater range of motion, but a greater drop off. So since I start higher up on the lever arm, I'll end higher up as well. So I'll experience a greater drop off and easier at the very beginning, according to how the linkage is. Let's see what else. And then also seat height. So this one is really freaking tight. Yeah, you can see I can adjust the seat. And then the further down I am, the higher the elbow abduction angle is as well for delts. Kind of also for the actual lat focus row. You start with your arm higher up as well, slightly. This is what I mean. I have my elbow higher up. Versus if I were to have my seat height higher, like my elbow naturally tracks lower. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. So my buddies have the D handle variant or the old school L handle variant, which is basically kind of like the D handle, but it's just open on the top side, so it's easier to strap in. Looks a little cooler too. So I was thinking like, I guess I could try to emulate it by just getting these flex strips and holding on to this. But since it introduces extra, like, you know, extra distance, I have to make sure I hit the full range of motion. And I have to get my chest pad all the way out like this. See? Oh. Ripped already. So yeah, these flex strips are not, definitely not like the end all be all. Or how like, they're not the really one-to-one feel, but you know, it's better than nothing kind of thing. yeah, I just really like it. It's versatile, and it's also feels good in each of the movements. So I was talking to somebody before about how it may not be the best at lats because I feel like the swivel handle on my Nautilus Explode row with the chest pad mod, that's better than this for lats, especially because yeah, really nice and tight. Not like this doesn't, but it's just incrementally better. And then that one also has something that this doesn't have, that is the main negative to this piece, in my opinion, which is that this piece does not have like a footrest or like a foot brace. My Bodymasters CXP row and my Explode row both have foot braces, and it just feels so much better, so much easier to get locked in. So like on this one, I'm bracing up against part of the frame. So I have part of the frame here, or I brace up against the pillow blocks themselves, which you can do, but it just is not perfect. So I'm gonna do a mod where I get a foot brace placed in here, a non-permanent one just placed in here. Probably like pressure plate on the tubing and just clamped in or something like that. Possibly multiple angle foot plate. Yeah, that's the main thing, because when you get really heavy, you really want the side you're biasing to be braced up against something. So I'm biasing this side for unilateral. I want to brace this foot up against something, and like this little nub right here it's just not fine, but like it's not really perfect. So I'd rather have something like right here, bracing my foot up against it. Yeah. And then just talking about the linkages a little bit. So this right here will be your driver. This right here will be the coupler. And this right here will be the follower. So for the mechanical advantage, so like the easier, the more linkage helps you basically, is when this right here, this angle right here is closest to 90, and this right here is furthest from 90. So either at like that, or like that. So basically, closer this gets to 90 and this gets away from 90, the more mechanical advantage you get from this piece. So at the very beginning it's like this, and towards end range it's like this. So it looks like this gets closer to 90 and that both get closer to 90 as you end the movement. And then another thing to take into account is the closer this coupler, the linkage itself, is down to the pivot of the driver of this initial arm right here, the more mechanical advantage you get as well. So if it's further down here, you get more mechanical advantage. Further up here, you get less mechanical advantage. And then conversely, the further away the linkage / coupler attaches to the follower, which is this part, the lever arm part, the further away this distance is, the more mechanical advantage you get. So it's already at max mechanical advantage right here. If it were down here, it'd be minimal. This is like midway, so it's like midway mechanical advantage. Down here would be max, up here would be minimal. So that's just one thing to look at also. It'd be really nice if it had like an actual handle to brace up against too, but I just use this thing, it works fine. Just that little handle, see that one right there? That handle on my chest pad mod is just better. So yeah, got a couple more sets so people can see how this thing moves. And I will say this is not nearly as much of a plate hog as my CXP row, Bodymaster CXP, or the Nautilus Explode row. The Nautilus Explode row is by far the biggest plate hog after you put the chest pad. It's just so stable. One is the stability, and two is the linkage, which I'll have to explore a little bit more as well. But yeah, a couple more sets on here. really my favorite way to use the machine. So I'll try to get my foot up to brace. And now I'm bracing on the pillow block. Really feel it in my lap. But actually, for like working sets, I would do like 220 pounds, 100 kg or so. So like this is not even. I would add another 2 plates actually, to be honest, in my working sets. This, so I feel like really strong guys could probably row like 9, 10 plates, like JP Jordan Peters, probably do a ton. In my opinion, it does not need an extra horn coming up. Maybe lengthening of the lever arm will be a little nice, so that you can use less plates. I'm not going to max it out. Somebody. Oh, and then last thing to talk about, it does diverge, so it's not like the prime plate loaded or strides plate loaded series plate loaded, where it just comes straight out at you. So you do get a little bit incremental stretch like this. So technically, it's like incrementally better like that. But I mean, it's like you can kind of already like create that bit. Just by biasing, doing unilateral, you can already just get a quick stretch, I feel like. This has a fixed prone handle, yeah. So that pronate handle, so you can do it with that. Seat for great row. My overall most versatile row. Possibly my favorite. You can see the slight divergence. You don't really want like a crazy divergence. There are rows like that, like the Atlantis one, not Atlantis, the Arsenal one. That's basically a copy of the Hammer. That one sucks for me. I hate that one. Sorry if somebody has that. It just doesn't fit my small frame very well. Conversely, this may not fit like a really big frame well in terms of the divergence. Maybe you want more or something, just for my frame and my buddies who have this row. They have the L handle version. One of them has a fix as well. They're bigger guys. They're not like tiny, but they're not like 310, 240 pounds or something like that. They're not like 6'4", 300-pound guys. They're like normal lifting guys. So yeah, really good unit.